Hello, hello, hello! I'm like too excited to even get this intro out. If you've never been to this channel before, first of all, welcome. Second of all, my name's Haley. This channel is a little bit of everything. We do a lot of travel, hiking, blah, 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 life, everything. Today, I am taking a trip that I have been dreaming of for quite some time, and I've apparently been there when I was like 8. I don't know, my mom thinks so, but I don't remember it, so it doesn't count in my mind. We are checking off another national park on my list today, and that is Grand Tetons National Park. I'm going to be spending the next 5 days there with my aunt and uncle, who are, of course, doing their annual road trip, which I wish I could be at that stage in my life, but I'm not. So I'm going to be meeting up with them and seeing where the trip takes us. I don't really have anything planned out. I'm going with the flow, and they have 2 dogs, which I love and miss deeply, so needless to say, I am very excited for this. So I'm going to be heading to the airport and flying directly into Jackson Hole, which is amazing. Apparently, Grand Tetons National Park is the only national park that has an airport in the park. So that's going to be really convenient for me, but I do have to fly to LA first and then make my way up to Wyoming. Over the course of these 5 days, I'm going to be with them at one campsite, and then on the last day that I'm there, we're going to be moving up to Coulter Bay Campground, which means that I'll be able to see both sides of the park, which is going to be a great experience. I'm very excited to get this park checked off of my list finally. So let's head to the airport and get started with this adventure. After leaving the blue skies of Phoenix, the first stop on this trip was the LAX airport, and more importantly, coffee. I'm so glad it was good because I waited 40 minutes in line for it. After showing you what it looks like to travel with 2 backpacks, I went to my transfer gate where I was shuttled out to the plane. These little American Eagle flights only have 2 seats each side, so I was lucky enough to get my own row to enjoy my book, coffee, and the views on this 2-hour flight to Jackson, Wyoming. As we got closer and closer to Jackson, I realized that as we were flying in, we were going to be flying in right next to the mountains. And when we got there, I was not disappointed with the view. This was the most beautiful way that I could have possibly started this trip. It's a clear day and the mountains are just right in your face. So if you're flying to Jackson, make sure that you are sitting on the right side of the plane, and the planes take off that same way too, so try to always be on the right side to catch a glimpse of the mountains as you're either entering or leaving Grand Teton National Park. I've officially made it to the most gorgeous airport I've ever seen in my life, and I'm just blown away already, and I've got 3 steps into this park, and I'm not even in the park. Anyway, we've made it to Jackson. Hello. I'm going to meet up with my uncle and aunt, and then we're going to go on some fun adventures, but first I need a bathroom break, so I will see you when we get into the park. Once we got back to camp, I spent some time reading and petting the dogs, of course, and then we headed out to the ranger talk for the night, which was on the women of the parks. It was really interesting, and you should always check out the ranger talks each time that you're in the park. So we're at the campsite. I've just had a great dinner with my uncle and aunt, who I know are watching this, so thank you so much, you guys, and thank you for hosting me, because I already know that this weekend is going to be one that I will not forget. So far, we're really just relaxing, enjoying the scenery. The weather is the best I could ask for, and I know it can only get better from here. So tomorrow we are off hiking and exploring the park, but tonight we're just enjoying this view from the campgrounds, and it's just serene. Birds are chirping, it's green. We got 2 dogs to hang out with. Honestly, I just can't wait for the rest of this weekend. Good morning from the Grand Tetons. We are starting our day off with a hike around Jenny Lake. I think it should be alright. I do have a blister forming on my foot from the shoes I was wearing yesterday, so I'm hoping that's not going to affect it too much since I'm wearing nicer socks and shoes today. But you never know. So we're going to hope for the best on this hike. It's about 8 miles round trip. Right now I'm at 9 miles and we haven't reached the parking lot yet. And it's getting a little stormy, so it's really windy. My legs are burning. I just want to get in the car. Be prepared for 9+ miles. It's a beautiful day, and I wasn't expecting this nice of weather, so I'm very pleasantly surprised. And I'm just in awe of these mountains right now. So enjoy the views. This is bear country, so we were using both bells and had bear spray on us in case anything did happen. But we did see a lot of wildlife, although, spoiler alert, no bears the entire time that we were there. Sometimes you think you're really in shape, and then you walk up a hill at altitude, and then suddenly you don't think you're in shape anymore. Trail's definitely not hard, but maybe your lungs might need a little break in between little sections. Otherwise, it's gorgeous. Fresh air smells so good, especially because I've been in the desert for so long. I can just smell the pine trees, smell the fresh oxygen coming from those trees. Water's beautiful, weather's beautiful. This is more than I could have ever hoped for, and I don't think this will be the last time that I visit the Grand Tetons. Alright, I can't really see what my hair looks like, so if it looks bad, it's whatever. It's getting a little warm, so the sweatshirt came off. So first week of June, travelers to the Grand Tetons, you're probably going to have some pretty nice weather. And just like, look at this view of Jenny Lake. It's gorgeous. There were some people out here paddleboarding, which means that's my next mission, is to come back and go paddleboarding, because as of Thursday last week, my paddleboard got delivered. So that's going to be my new personality trait, in case anyone was wondering. So out on the water is where you're going to find me this summer, because the desert is much too dry for me. I can hear Hidden Falls up ahead. We are almost to see this waterfall. And then Inspiration Point after that. And then we hike all the way back around. Every time I see this, I know I'm about to start huffing and puffing. Here we go. I thought that was it for the stairs. I was so wrong. This is the point at which you're going to start seeing a lot more people, because this is where the boat taxi drops off. So just be wary that the population is going to increase dramatically here. We just saw a moose. That was the first moose I've seen in so long, and it was like 20 feet away. That was exhilarating, but I was honestly a little scared. But yeah, just munching on something, eating. It was awesome. 10 out of 10 so far. It's warm. I'm really dehydrated, and I keep acting like I'm not drinking, so I'm forcing myself to drink some water. Definitely have the liquid IV in there. At this point in the hike, we're still feeling pretty good, feeling pretty hopeful about the whole thing, but this is where we start to go straight up, because this is the addition we made to the original trail that is just the Jenny Lake Loop. we added Hidden Falls and Inspiration Point, which gained us a lot of elevation, and in the end ended up making our total more than 2.5 miles extra. Alright, we have made it to Inspiration Point. We've sat, had a little bit of food, and now it's time to walk. First, back down the way we came, down switchbacks, then all the way along this ridge here, around, back to where we started. But this is Jenny Lake. This is the reason they tell you not to feed the animals, because these little chipmunks were up here and they were attacking people looking for food. Although it was really cute, definitely do not feed the animals.
Give me some. That's why they do that. You look up with those angel eyes. I remember wooden fire.
Coming down from Inspiration Point, you will have to backtrack back down to the boat dock and then make your way around to what I believe was the more scenic view of Jenny Lake as we made our way around the long side. So stay tuned for some very beautiful scenery. We stopped by the boat docks for just a minute to kind of check out the water and then continued on our way around the lake. If you aren't interested in accidentally hiking 9.5 miles, you can take the boat either both ways or just one way for a fee. So that is always an option if you aren't wanting to hike all the way around the lake. Okay, so from what I can tell, the Jenny Lake loop on the longer side of the loop after you've passed the boat dock. So if you're going into the trail and you're starting on the left side, going left from the parking lot, that's going to be the shortest route to Inspiration Point, to Hidden Falls, and the boat ramp. If you go that way, it's mostly all covered. But we're coming around on the other side to complete the whole loop. We're at 5 miles right now, and we started at the Jenny Lake parking lot, went up, saw Hidden Falls, went up to Inspiration Point, and now we're on that other side. And this other side is much more open. As you can see, there's really no shade coverage, but you're walking right along the lake and you can see just this entire view, and then you have the mountains behind you. So if you do turn around, you're going to be able to see that, and it's just like the best view I've ever seen. Now, this is taking the mileage up quite a bit, but it's not nearly as up and down and climbing as that short side is. So I think it's definitely worth it to come around and do the whole loop, because you're getting different views on this other side of the lake. And just look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Mile 6, I just hit, and I gotta say I'm losing some steam. It's not bad, it's just like it keeps going forever. Absolutely gorgeous scenery, but after hiking straight up to Inspiration Point and then straight back down, my legs are a little gassed, especially from not doing some long distance hikes before this. So I was hoping that maybe we could do Delta Lake tomorrow, but that is an off trail through Boulder Field 9-mile hike, so I'm not so sure yet. We will see.
Every day when the sun rises, I feel love beating
This trail has gotten much longer than intended. To no fault of our own, we just added the inspiration point and hidden falls. So when you come all the way around, adding that, right now I'm at 9 miles and we haven't reached the parking lot yet. And it's getting a little stormy, so it's really windy. My legs are burning. I'm leaving them in the dust. I just want to get in the car. Get in the car. So if you're going to do Jenny Lake Loop and you want to do everything it has to offer, be prepared for 9+ miles. Because that's what it is. We've officially finished this hike and we're back at the campsite. My legs hurt so bad. But we stopped at the visitor center on the way back and I got my first official stamp in my passport. I'm so excited about this. My aunt and uncle are very avid about their stamps, so they said we're buying you one. So I'm very excited about it. Okay guys, that's going to wrap up my first 2 days in the Grand Teton National Park. I am going to actually split this video up into a part 1 and a part 2 because I just have a lot of footage from all of the things that we did there. Part 2 is going to be covering day 3, 4, and 5 of this trip to the Grand Teton National Park. We are going to be going down to Jackson Hole, Wyoming and seeing what the town has to offer and its unique little charm. And of course, I'll be getting my unique souvenirs, which you'll just have to check out for yourself if you want to find out what the souvenir is that I got and brought home with me. You're also going to want to check out part 2 to find out how much wildlife we did see by the end of the trip. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you over in the next one.